into her house. But he said, no, into heaven. And so he comes out and he realizes he can't preach the normal passages the reformed passages that he preaches. So he remembers that his mom used to read to him John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And in helping this lady get in, he said, not only did I help her get in, but I helped myself get in. And so maybe, sometimes by presenting the gospel, even though they may not understand it themselves, maybe they might come to an understanding of the gospel as well, and that might be the benefit of these crusades. And so we often are can be separatist to the point where that we separate ourselves from God and what He's doing in and around us. You see, Paul is now. Notice how Paul did it. Paul would first go to the synagogue when he entered into a new city. Can you imagine a place where there would be more opposition to Jesus Christ than in the synagogue? Yet that is where Paul began. I am not condemning him for it because God led him to do it that way. Now, if Paul had joined himself to one of those synagogues and had become a rabbi in one of them and had stayed there, then that could have been considered a yoke. You know, we want, like I said, my friend, if you pass by a liberal church, then you know you, you've joined them. Um, there's nothing wrong with some of these meetings or getting together with them. The main thing they discouraged was the pastoral association meetings. Well, you can tell what God's doing in your church. They give you the floor and an opportunity to tell them about Jesus. You see, Paul is talking about being yoked together in a permanent arrangement like marriage or in a business partnership or a pro, uh, professorship in a church or membership in a church. I watched the uh, No Vacancy, and there was obviously a Catholic donated to the Baptist church to help them, gave him $25,000 toward buying that motel. The separatists would refuse to take the money, but if, is I wouldn't put them on the board, but they do. Uh, but their contribution is is needed. This verse has no reference to my support of an evangelistic crusade. There are many men who do not carry on their ministries the way I do mine, and some of them are so much more successful than I am that maybe they are right and I am wrong. Of course, I feel that I am right and I intend to go along as I am now, but this won't keep me from having fellowship with men who do things a little differently. As long as they are preaching the same gospel that I preach and they believe the Bible is the Word of God, Paul is talking about yoking yourselves with unbelievers, as he makes clear in the next verse 15. And what concord concord with Christ with Belial, and what part hath he with he that believeth with an infidel? Well, certainly don't have any part with them. I'm not joining with them permanently in anything. I am, and I trust you are not. Let's not confuse this with our relationship with other believers who do things in a different way from what we do them. And that concludes that